let's talk about the cardiovascular system. Are you excited? I am excited about the cardiovascular system. Okay, a little review of the cardiovascular system. So we have the heart, the blood vessels. Heart pumps blood into the arteries. Yes, you should all know this. Heart pumps blood into the arteries. They are connected via capillaries and veins. Little vocabulary, friends. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Veins carry blood back to the heart. You can refer to this lovely diagram if you do not remember any of these things that I just said. Blood composition. Most of your blood is plasma. It's the liquidy part of your blood. Serum remains after the removal of the clotting proteins. Formed elements. These include your platelets, your red blood cells, your basophils, your neutrophils, all the parts of your blood that are not plasma. Most of it's plasma, just like the inner blood vein fluid is your plasma. Everything that's not a blood cell or a specific thing, that is just plasma. Okay, here again is another diagram of the cardiovascular system. So, what are we talking about here? Why does this matter? Why are we talking about the cardiovascular system? It's a microbiology class. I know. Basically, we're talking about movement of blood into the lymph. Oh, the lymph should sound familiar. Anybody? Anybody? White blood cells? Anyone? Anyone at all? Okay. The right ventricle. Okay, right ventricle pumps blood into the lungs. Yes, yes, that's where we get the oxygen. Yes, yes, the oxygen enters the blood in the lungs. Carbon dioxide diffuses out. This is your respiratory system, which we'll talk about later. Oxygenated blood returns to the heart through the left ventricle. Okay, yes. Blood then moves to the arteries and the capillaries. So we've pumped it, the oxygenated blood that we got from our lungs, into our heart. Capillaries carry blood to the surrounding tissues. Yes, yes. But what happens? So we talked about this a little bit, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about it. You have a capillary, right? Your capillaries are a little bit leaky. I know that sounds upsetting. It's not. Don't worry. Calm down. Your capillaries are a little bit leaky. So the plasma is going to, different parts of your blood are actually going to leak out of those leaky capillaries. And that's a little bit, friends. 3 liters. You're going to recirculate 3 liters out of your capillaries. Out of your capillaries every day. 3 liters of blood every day. Where's it going to go? You're talking osmotic pressure. Do you remember osmosis and diffusion? We talked about that. Yes. Everyone, here we are again with osmosis and diffusion. It's almost like I don't do these things for no reason. So, osmosis and diffusion. It's going to come out of your capillaries. And then it's going to go, anyone want to guess? There's kind of some fluidy parts in between. It's going to go into your lymphatic system. Your lymph nodes. Yes, raise your hand if you got that one right. Your lymph nodes. The leaked fluid coming out of your capillaries is going to go into your leaked fluid is going to be picked up and put into your lymph nodes. Okay? Yes? Can everyone wrap their mind around this anatomy and physiology concept? You have leaky capillaries, always. Sometimes more than others, but essentially your capillaries are a little bit leaky. Stuff comes out on purpose, 3 liters of stuff in a whole day, and it gets pulled in to your lymph nodes. Okay? Yes? Everybody feels okay with that? Okay. So, here's a question. Bacteria infecting the mouth. So you breathe something in, right? Can enter the blood through small cuts, resulting from normal brushing and flossing. So you brush your teeth and there's you got gingivitis or I don't know what gross stuff's on your mouth. I don't want to know. Why would bacteria from your mouth bacteria, reach the right atrioventricular, your right valve before the other heart valves? Okay? You can pause and think about that if you loved A&P. Otherwise, I'll just tell you. Okay? So blood returns from the heart. Okay? So you just come from the heart from other parts of the vena cava. Okay? So let's go back into the heart. Here we go. Your superior vena cava. Everybody with me? Do you see my little thingy here? Here we go. Here's the blood. Right? Blood reaches the right atrium. See it? We're coming back. Here's the right atrium. And then the right ventricle. See it right here? The right ventricle. So here comes your blood. Whoa, the right ventricle. So really what happens is some pressure, and then it tries to shoot back up here. These are your heart sounds, right? And this is what? Your tricuspid valve, your atrioventricular valve. That's the first valve that it's going to enter. Okay, so it's going to come in here, it's going to come back up, and that's the first valve. Okay, so this is just a little fun quiz about anatomy and physiology on how your leaky capillaries and your blood plasma and other things in your blood end up in your lymph. Okay, so let's talk about some diseases. Yeah. Septicemia. This is an infection of the blood that causes illness. Septicemia is a microinfection of the blood, and the bacteria are the most common cause. Okay, so can anybody already see what's going on here? We got some swelling, right? Does this like bring you back to maybe the talk we had about immunity, right? Signs and symptoms of septicemia, rapid respiration. So you're trying to get, right? You're trying to get more oxygen into your blood, but it's not working. Increased heart rate, because you're trying to speed it up, trying to get more oxygen into your blood. It's not working. Elevated body temperature, low white blood cell count. These are all signs that you are septic or you have septicemia. Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, changes in mental state, all those fun symptoms. Okay, so let's talk about how this happens. So you have some kind of bad bacteria. This is your bad bacteria. That bacteria is also, you got the leaky vessels here. You got blood clots. So can you see how this is all going to go terribly wrong? Like real quick. You got bacteria. You got stuff leaking out of your capillaries. That's not good. And you got a clot. So it's a mess. It's all bad. You have these small hemorrhagic lesions called petechia. I think that's basically these. Septic shock, it develops really rapidly. So once they know that you are septic, you get pretty immediate care. So it's very important to be aware when people have bacteremia or septicemia. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I thought we always called it septicemia. Signs and symptoms. Irritation of the lymph system. Okay, do you see that? Your lymph nodes should not look like that. Nope, that's not how they should look. This is a very common lymph node right here in your side of your throat, kind of. There's a lot of lymph nodes right there, and this is what happens when they get irritated. So it can get worse if it starts to invade the bones, but this is a clog in your lymphatic system caused by bacteria. Yes? Is this making sense? Oh, again, osteomyelitis, it occurs if the bacteria invades the bones. So at this point, it's set in your system so long that it actually creates like a cyst, and the disc degeneration, and it becomes really, really bad. There's some more really delightful pictures. Here's some signs of septicemia, like very early on. Here's another one. This is very clear, your lymph, right? This is exactly where your lymph goes, and it's red and inflamed. So that's not good. That's a no thank you. Okay, more septicemia. Signs and symptoms. Again, release of bacterial toxins may contribute to the symptoms. So the exotoxins, which include the cytotoxins and the neurotoxins, are released from living bacteria. It's in the lipid A portion. Whoops, sorry about that. Again, they're gram-negative, and some of this is streptococcal toxic shock syndrome. It's a severe form of septicemia, and it results from toxic release of this kind of bacteria. Some more things about this. Numerous bacteria cause this. All have at least one virulent factor that interferes with host defenses. So this is taking out your white blood cells and other things. The presence of a capsule may resist phagocytosis. The siderophores are used to acquire iron needed for bacterial metabolism. They release various endotoxin molecules. They're often opportunistic or health-associated infections, so they happen in the hospital when you're already immunocompromised or when there's other sick people around. So this is why it's very common when you're in the hospital, and also why it has to be very, very clean in the hospital. Pathogens and epidemiology. Due to direct inoculation of the bacteria into the blood, typically self-limiting in immunocompetent individuals, most common in individuals with suppressed immune system, especially people who are in the hospital who've just had surgery. So this is why septicemia is such a problem in hospitals.